So you've been involved in Everton for a number of years now, and there's been a few hard years. There's definitely been a few lows over the past few seasons. What was it like then going into the training ground? You know, the past few seasons we've been battling relegation. If the couple of years that we stayed up on the second to last and last game of the season, was it hard going into training? Was it hard to motivate the players as a coach, or was it tough?
Yeah, I mean, listen. What I was saying, it's the pressure of that situation, isn't it? Yeah. Because one defeat, keeps you under pressure, keeps you down the low reaches, keeps you under the threat of relegation. But I've always been a positive person. I've always liked to think I've been a positive person, and I always wanted to be the one that wouldn't go in there and would moan about, what about this or what about that, because that drags other people down. And it was almost I said before about trying to create an environment where you can actually, if it's not going great, that you can get through, that you can still do your work, you can still, enjoy your work. Because if you don't, human beings, aren't we? If you get dragged down or everything is low and whatever, then you end up being low and you end up falling through the trapdoor, shall we say? So I always went in and I thought made it my mantra to say, right, I'm positive today. Come on, because in football, I suppose football in life, like 30 seconds ago, it's gone. I can't do anything about it. I might have said something 30 seconds ago. I can't do anything about it. But I have to move forward, learn from it, and see how I can influence what happens next. So I always had that way of thinking that was, made a mistake. I used to say to Jordan, if you make a mistake, I said, I make countless mistakes, but the greatest gift I had was realising I can't turn the clock back. I can learn from it, I can understand it, and I can make sure, if it's the rest of the game, I have to be brilliant. So I can affect it positively, not reflect on it negatively, if that makes sense. So learn from mistakes, but then going forward, trying to improve and get better. And I think having that mentality, having that attitude, I would hope helped take a bit of pressure off. Because if you're demanding all the time and you're adding more pressure to an already massively pressurised situation. But when you get times when against Crystal Palace when we're 2-0 down and we come back and win 3-2 and the pitch invasion, and I just saw that as such a celebratory moment, really. Now people say, well, we shouldn't be down there, but we are, and we've gone on the right side of it. So I am going to smile and I'm going to enjoy this because we've gone on the right side, and there's plenty of others who have gone on the wrong side, and I know that from Sheffield United.
Yeah, definitely. What was your proudest moment then at Everton Football Club during your time there?
I think you said before, walking through the door at Finch Farm on that first day, having flown back from the Guinness Hop House. And again, I touched on it before in terms of following in my dad's footsteps. I mean, thinking, bloody hell, he follows him everywhere. But it wasn't by design. It was just by, hopefully by the work that I do and meeting people. But I think Everton as an institution, Everton as a club, Everton as a team, having the experience of playing at Goodison Park and knowing that atmosphere and then to get the chance to walk through and be part of it. I didn't know for how long.
Yeah.
And then for me, I've said this multiple times. I used to do 6 volleys to Jordan just before the referee blew for the game to start. And so I used to walk out as the siren was going off, and I'd walk and I'd stand on the edge of the 18-yard box in front of the Gladys Street. And then that wall of noise would come down from the Bullens everywhere. It was just, and at times, and particularly that game against Crystal Palace, because we'd had the coach arrival and all the flares and everybody, and the atmosphere and the charged atmosphere, it was just electric. But in that moment, stood in that 18-yard box, the hairs on the back of my neck were, I haven't got many left, by the way. It was just incredible, and say my son was there, my wife was there as well. Now, I don't know how they were feeling at half time, but at the end of it, it was exhilaration. But just in that moment, sometimes you can pause for a moment and just think to be in the centre of that and to feel that, even as a fan, you don't really get a chance to do that, do you?
No.
And I was front and centre, not for the glory or anything like that, just to be there and experience that 360 wall, just will always stay with me.
Yeah, what a night that was, and I completely agree with you, to be honest. I think people will see it as a bit of the mentality, but at the end of the day, we came from 2-0 down, won 3-2, backs against the wall, and we overcome it. And it was a euphoric moment.
And people will remember that. But I think we won 5 of the last 7 games, something like that.
Yeah.
Was it, and because we were deep in it at the time, I think we were 5 adrift at one time. And I think, and again, it goes back to working with players and working with management teams. You're working in such a high pressurised situation. And I remember Seamus saying at the time as well that, he said, listen, don't be the one who has to walk out of this door and look an Everton fan in the eye, knowing that you've let them down and we've gone down. And that's pretty powerful, isn't it? And I think when you come the right side of it, you enjoy that because everybody knows the ramifications of not being the right side.
People talk about goalkeeping unions, Alan. Can you talk to me about what a goalkeeping union is? Because it seems to be the thing at the moment. Is that just something that the goalkeepers rely on? Or
do you know what I think? Do you know what it is? They understand the pressure of being the last line of defence. Yeah. I might be biased, but it is the most pressurised position on the pitch.
Yeah.
So Dominic can, or Dwight can get the goals, whatever, but they might miss a couple. We make one mistake, the ball's in the back of the net. And that, if you're away from home, you've got the away fans who are baying down at you. Jordan's had to deal with all that with the Newcastle fans and everything that comes with it. And
strange bunch.
But in it funny with Karma, how suddenly he saves a penalty, they win 1-0. You know what I mean? But in terms of the goalkeeping unit, I think what that is that everybody in that understands the pressurised nature of the position. And even to the extent where I said to you before about stats. Jordan might have 40 distribution. Do you know what the expectation from everybody is that a goalkeeper has to be perfect, because if they make a mistake, he's doing this, but you think about it, you've got 50 actions in a game, so you might be successful 90% of the time, but people expect it to be perfect, and nobody's perfect, no player, no goalkeeper, none of us in life. And I think understanding that pressure between your number 1, your number 2, your number 3, number 4, all the way down, I think that's that camaraderie that I said before, and within a goalkeeping group that I've worked with, that everybody understands that the nature of that, and they know that the number 1 going out, when they walk over the white line, that they're putting themselves on the line because they just can't make a mistake.
Just touching on the future of Everton and the goalkeepers, we've had young Harry Tyrer on the channel. He spoke extremely high of you, said he loved working with you day to day. These younger players coming through, do you see a future for them at Everton? Obviously, with Jordan Pickford now 31 years of age, there's still plenty of life in the old dog yet. But the future of Everton, the youth, have we got some goalkeepers coming through the academy?
Absolutely. I was fortunate to work with Harry in the under-23s, and probably 6 years ago now with
Big
that.
lad.
And Harry isn't, well, not only is he an exceptional goalkeeper, but he's an exceptional person as well. Really, really great lad. And San-Luc Leban's another one we've got, and then we've got young ones coming now with Dougie and George Pickford as well. So there's and that's something that I always wanted to do. I wanted to try and get that conveyor belt of goalkeepers, and really based it off what Jordan did in his early career in terms of going out on loan. So we got Harry out at Chester.
Yeah.
He got Player of the Year there, and he went to Chesterfield and they get promotion. So and the reasoning behind that is that to get them a profile. So if a manager's looking at a young goalkeeper and they haven't played any senior games, this goes back to me as a 17-year-old making that first game, and they can say, well, Harry Tyrer has played 50 games at Chester, he's played 50 games at Chesterfield, he's now at Blackpool, he's got over 100 games. There's a body of work there, and there's a trust that they can perform at that senior level and in league football. Zan went out to Farsi, got Player of the Year. They stayed up on the last game of the season, and but to go into that environment. New team, new squad, new manager, not the facilities that you would get at Finch Farm and at Goodison, and to go and perform, again, that's the ethos I wanted to bring in the young goalkeepers, and every time that they've gone out and done that, they've risen to the challenge and gone to the next step.